There's many times in life you wish you had a reset button, but what's better than a reset button is a relaunch button. Let me introduce today's expert who is going to show you exactly how these opportunities can absolutely change your life. Let me bring today's guest, Hilary DeCesare. So Hilary, tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I am the founder and the CEO of The Relaunch, and it is a company designed specifically to help women manage to the relaunches that are hitting all of us, the health, the ones that are in our personal life, professional life. And there is a fantastic system that you can actually get through anything that comes your way using specific, codes and things I've created over a lifetime of my own relaunches. And my whole mission is to help women be able to get to that best version of themselves in all areas of their life so they can sit there and say, hey, you know what? I've had a really great life.
That's incredible. And it feels like these opportunities for relaunches used to be every decade or so, and now it seems like it's every couple of years. We've been through a lot. What are some things you've seen over the last couple of years that have really come up and been a challenge and really kind of needed this type of an approach?
Well, interesting. I've had about 3 podcasts today that there's been a common theme for women that are 45 plus. And that is when I ask, what's been the most significant relaunch you've had? And the laughter starts. Really? One? How about the multiple relaunches? And that's really the case of what's happening, especially in the last few years with global relaunches that occurred. Then there's the professional ones. There's been the quiet quitting. There's been a lot of people leaving corporate going into entrepreneurship. There's entrepreneurs that are trying to figure out, how do I sustain? How do I grow, scale my business? How do I have a lifestyle of success that is really relevant to where I am at this stage without the burnout, without the struggle, without feeling like you're stuck? And so these days, especially as we age, there are, and I know that women can appreciate this, there are relaunches, especially happening in our own health, right? For many, they're going from perimenopause to menopause and understanding what does that mean, how the changes are not just external, but they're also very much internal. And so the relaunch really helps women that are transitioning into that next life, that next level of their business, and being able to really have a support, a connection to help them get through it in a process that involves their head, their heart, and their highest self, that best version of them.
And that's an incredible point, because there's a lot of bits and pieces out there, right? You can consume this stuff kind of piece by piece, but very few things actually tie it all together. It sounds like your process really tackles this thing from all angles.
Well, I think that we especially have been accustomed, we being women, have been accustomed to really trying to put up the walls, focus in, don't get distracted. You set your goal. We try to, hit that goal. And then what happens? Life happens, relaunches happen, and it pushes us off that, yellow brick road on the way to Oz to have, when I get there, everything's going to be perfect. And I think that women these days know that that's not the case. And so my intention is really help women get to that place where there's more peace around what they're working towards. They do not feel overwhelmed or underwhelmed. That's another huge thing that's happening in women's lives right now. There's a lot of transitions around empty nester and what's next. There's a lot of transitions around people in corporate that call me up and say, I just lost my job. I don't feel relevant anymore right now. I'm trying to figure it out. And with the courses that we have, with the book that I wrote, with really my one-on-one coaching, this is where I do that deep dive into, here's a process that has literally helped change the direction for thousands of women and men, but the programs are designed for women, but men do a lot of the one-on-one coaching. And once you realize that so much of it is the internal, once you realize that you are wired with an outdated operating system, that's when I allow you to, and I've been in the corporate world, I worked at Oracle for almost 10 years. It allows you from a technical perspective, like you literally are going to rewire your brain, not for safety, survival, which is what your brain is really wired for, but for success. So it's a completely different way to tune in to what you're really going for. So it's not just the goals, it's the ultimate results that I'm really going for.
And what gets you into even wanting to do this? I mean, there's a lot you take on for people, even if it's the one-on-one, but even the group stuff. I mean, you kind of shoulder that burden a little bit along with them. There's no way you can just flip a switch and turn it off. So what makes you want to do this?
Well, first off, I've been doing this for 24 years. And if I didn't know how to turn it off, as you say, and it's not a turning it off, it's after people utilize my programs, my tools, my processes, they are in a better place. And so whatever they're going through, and truthfully, how come I'm doing this? It's because I've been through so many relaunches. I've had the big move from corporate into entrepreneurship. I've had mom dying of cancer, dad dying, really massive health scares, melanoma. I've had a near-death experience. I mean, it's just been a lot. I'm like, the nesting doll, that you keep turning and there's another layer, another relaunch, another relaunch. But through it all, I really have learned a process. And so when I know what I'm doing for people, when I know that the process is so simplified, because that's what I want. Don't give me some like 10-step process. Like, let me understand the science behind it. Let me understand that there is some ancient wisdom. Let me understand that there are universal laws that can impact people's success. And then I can deliver that in a really super easy way. And I see people change. People think that change has to take a really long time. I have seen change within one conversation. So I don't take on energy from other people. I am a reflector back, elevating them with their own vibrational energy, because I have learned through, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and working with thousands of people, that you cannot bring into your life results and your goals if you are at a low vibrational level. It doesn't happen. That's the whole law of resonance. Whatever you are resonating with, you are getting. So you can look at your bank account, you can look at your company, you can look at your team, you can look at how you're leading. And it is literally a direct reflection of your level, vibrational thoughts, what you're thinking. And so I really like to say that I work with somebody's energy to elevate them. No matter what relaunch they're going through, I have tools to help you come out of it, even if it's only 5 minutes, even if it's only for a very short amount of time, to be able to get done what you need to do to move things forward. Not in big, bold, giant steps, because that doesn't work, but in these small micro pops, these actions that lead to those pop the champagne moments, the times where you're like, Hilary, which I've heard so much, Hilary, you're like a good witch. Hilary, this is all magic. Hilary, this is amazing. I've never had results like this. And it's not me. My biggest goal with people is to get them ready to be on their own, ready for another relaunch. Because that is the one thing I can guarantee: there will be another relaunch.
So Hilary, we've been talking about relaunches and rewiring the brain. And one thing that's caught my mind is how long is that going to take?
You know what? I get this all the time, because people think it's going to have to take years, right? And we're not talking about years, and it shouldn't be anything that it's not about the length of time. And so what I did is I used to have a course that was 6 to 12 months. And it was this whole thing around, getting you really taking your business one step at a time. And I thought, how can I make this into an even faster program? How can I get people results within days, not months and not years? And so I created a program called Flip Your World in 40 Days, Inner Strength, Outer Success. And what we're doing in this program is literally at the same time you're going for that one big result, you're also continually reprogramming your brain every single day for 40 days. And the results are nothing less than miraculous. Literally, in my 24 plus years of coaching, I have never seen better results, more revenue, more like zest for life, more clarity, more confidence, more connections, just that overall sense of like, yes, this is what was missing in my life forever.
And you have the process now, right? I mean, so that's something to repeat and do over and over and start to live by.
Exactly. And it's funny because we're actually seeing people come back through the program because they're like, wait, I just did that in 40 days. Imagine if I do that like multiple times throughout the year, how much further I'm going to be. And what we've seen is that we leverage this whole idea of neuroscience, ancient wisdom. And then because of my tech background, I had to do it. We bring in some really unique ways to leverage some of the tech like AI and be able to actually have that help you, not just professionally, but personally.
Yeah, what an amazing tool. As you start to incorporate these things together, this is something that you're taking tried, proven things that have, to quote the movie, kind of been a secret, and actually applying them in this modern day.
Well, and it was interesting because one of the titles that I came out with when we were sharing a masterclass around this was, how to actually have abundance and be able to 2x, 3x, even 10x your revenue in not months, but weeks. And I got pushback on like, well, is that even possible? Well, guess what? I can share with you 1, 2, 3, 10 examples of it that just happened where again we think we have this thing in our head, we've been programmed that things have to take a long time, and they don't. And I have had people go through the program and they're like, oh my gosh, I heard you say it, I didn't think it was possible for me. And it's just mic drop. It's just for me, it's like, yes, here we go, it's happened again.
Hilary, that's incredible, especially when you figure you got the book, you got YouTube, you got your events. Someone seeing this for the first time and meeting you, where would you recommend they start?
So it's really, a great place is always going to our website, therelaunch.com. It has where then you can access my podcast. We just hit top 1.5% of all the podcasts in the world. It's called Relaunch to a Rich Life. And then on there, it talks about events. You just mentioned that. And probably the thing I'm most excited about right now is Relaunch to a Rich Life Live, where it's going to be in September 18th, 19th, and 20th in Scottsdale, Arizona. And what I'm doing for this event is I am curating, right? How many of us are so busy being busy? We want to be in the know, we want to be in the loop, but we just don't have time to weed through everything and find the best things for our health, the best things for wealth and scaling our business, the best things around all areas that we care about: bone health, heart health, menopause, what's working, what's not. And I like to kind of break things open and share from not just my experience, but from an incredible community that I've put together. And that's what this event is. It's for women that have had that huge success, 7, 8, 9-figure success. They're all going to be there and they're going to be sharing their stories. But it's also for what I call the millionaires in the making that want to have that rich life. And not just have it be the almighty dollar, but how do you, through the wisdom of this network, this group of women that are coming together, how do you leverage what we've already been through to get to be the millionaires? We've done it. So now, hey, go from A to Z and it doesn't have to take years and years like it did for many of us. It can be a much faster process. So I definitely want people to hit up our podcast, hit up our website, therelaunch.com, check out this event, because if you are somebody that you know there's more for you, you need to be at this event. You need to be in the room, because this is where the connections are happening.
The physical in-person connections, not the digital Zoom.
No, I got to tell you the
podcast.
magic. The magic is when this is funny. I am a international certified matchmaker. I did it when I was divorced. I thought, I want to learn more about connection and what makes a good relationship. But instead of doing male, female, I use those skills when we're at live events. I match people with great connections so that energetically they're at that level, so that real opportunities unfold. And that's when people are like, oh my God, this was the best event I've ever been to. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And it doesn't just stop when the event's over. It continues on, because that's how we've designed it. And the friendships, one of the things that I've heard numerous times over the last month from successful women is that they've outgrown their friends. They're like, I'm at this level and I don't really have much in common except like some of the things that we did when we were young. I want a group of women that are successful, that are going for that longevity in all areas of their life, that lifestyle of success. How do I find them? And then I raise my hand. I say, I got you. Let me be the matchmaker. But you got to get into the relaunch world, and you got to get in now.
Yeah, and that's a couple day event, 2 or 3 day event. How long is it?
It's actually a 3-day.
3 day.
It's
Okay.
September 18th, 19th, and 20th. And then for those that I'm writing a book right now on 100 of the top iconic impact female millionaires. If you think about it, it's a lot like Think and Grow Rich, but those were 500 men. This time we're doing the women. And so we're also going to have a TV show that's going to be filmed with about 20 women.
Gotcha. Now, an application process. They talk to their team if they're interested in doing that. Who do they reach out to?
So what they would do is they would go to the website, therelaunch.com, and on there it says events, and then you can sign up for the event right there. And if you are like, hey, I want to be in that TV show, I want to know. And so there is the ability to get on a schedule with me, and otherwise just link in with me right now and say, hey, I want to talk to you about this event in September. And again, it's Relaunch to a Rich Life, because I've seen way too many people that come to me that have had success, lost the success, feel like there's more out there. And they look at the bank account. Many times it's where they want it to be. Many times it's not, but the other areas of their life are not where they thought it would be. And so this is really, let's make sure that when you look at the 3 prongs of your family, significant other, you look at your business, and you look at your personal life, you're loving all 3. All 3 are lighting you up. They're the fire in your belly. I like to say those the butterflies that just are like, yes, I really love my life. That's what this event is all about.
I think that's incredible. And let me just address, if you're watching this at this point, you're maybe like me, you've been to some events where they were just pitch fest or they only had one piece of the puzzle. This event's coming at it from every angle. And I think the best part of this event, Hilary, and this is key, is that connection that you're establishing for them continues. This is not just 3 days wasted out in the desert. This is something that's going to change your life if you plug in. There's an opportunity to network here, opportunity to find, like you said, a whole new circle of just accountability, support, that new network. Because I agree with you. Once you go through this process, you're going to find that, and I don't know whether you change or they change, but you're going to have to get a whole new network around you to at least stay where you are. Otherwise, you're going to revert right back when you get home.
That's so true. And I do want to say one other thing, because you tapped on something there. There are a lot of events that bring together people that are like-minded. I really want to throw this out for those that are interested in like energy. When you walk into that room, when you meet somebody that they're you, they got your energy. They're just like on the level of you. That's what this room is going to be filled with, like energy women. I just got chills from my head to my toes. I mean, off the charts. I wish you could see my hair on my arms. This is going to be, it's going to be epic. It's going to be nothing less than remarkable.
Well, that's incredible. Now, again, the website, it's going to be on this video. It's going to be on this page. Ways to get in touch with Hilary and her team. That's here for you. I do want to change gears just a little bit. I'm going to kind of put you on the spot. I might catch you off guard, but what's something people don't know about you?
Well, I've shared a little of the matchmaker. I think that I have such, we talk about 3HQ, the head, the heart, the highest self. I am here on this earth to help people. I know it. I know that I have been gifted with this intense intuition. I can cut through a lot of the BS around what people are saying. I'll never forget at Oracle, one of my vice presidents said, when's this deal coming in? What's the percentage? And he said, it's 99%. Is that still it? When is it going to come in? When is it going to come in? And I said, it's not going to come in. What do you mean? It's 99%. It's in procurement. And I said, no, that one's not going to come in. But this one that's at like 67, that will come in. No, that one, they've already told us they don't have the, I'm like, no, that's going to come in. So I think what people don't realize about me is that it's like you're tapping into this heart. And when you think about the connection between the heart and the head, I like to say that there's this kind of like fountain of youth for you that you can then directly access. And I've just been blessed by being the channel. Well, and then the other thing I do have to say is that I love being a mom of 3 and a stepmom to 2 amazing bonus kids. So there's 5. So what some people don't know is that we literally have like the Brady Bunch kind of in and out. And there's always this amazing, I guess it's like chaos that is really like our connection. It's like it's a wonderful thing. And as I'm in New York right now, my husband and I definitely like to keep it interesting and mix it up and go different places and see and live, not just as a short vacation, but we kind of plant our seeds in different locations and then really get to know an area.
Which sounds incredible. And there's kind of, parents fall into one of two camps. There's those that are worried about their kids' future and those that are excited. Which camp you fall into? I can guess, but which?
Well, you know what? Okay. Well, I think we all know it depends on the day. It depends on, who's the one that's the worst off right now. That's how I am. But no, I'm so proud of all 5 of the kids and their journeys. And it inspires me to like their youthfulness of like what's new and what's coming and how they see things. And I get energetically charged from them. And there are times where I can sit there and I'm like, oh gosh, this isn't going to end well. This is not a good decision. But you got to let the kid make their own decision. And if somebody always stepped in to change the path, to change the direction, then it would be my life that they're living and not their own. So I kind of like, I let them kind of have the wins and I let them have the losses. And it's the losses that actually really truly bring us all together.
Well, and Hilary, one thing I'm sensing here is you have an attitude of abundance, an attitude of this energy of what you seek, what you put out, you will find. There's a lot of people looking down right now, a lot of people struggling right now, and I'm not going to put that blame on them, but I will say there's a lot of negative vibration, low energy. This sounds like a great opportunity, even if they just get the book or just check you out on YouTube or just listen to one podcast episode. I think you could change a lot in someone's life in about 30 minutes, and you're not even there.
Well, I do have to say, your brain is definitely hardwired for negativity, right? We have over 6,000 thoughts a day, and 80-90% of them are negative. It's how we're hardwired. So you have to consciously build peak performance habits to get to be looking at things from a more positive light. And most people are very much, they fall into like, well, this is just the way it is. It is what it is. My mom used to say that all the time, but you know what she always did? She followed it up with, it is what it is. So now what?
Ooh.
So now what? And so I get people to ask that. So now what? Sure, you can keep thinking that. You can still feel stuck tomorrow. You can feel underwhelmed, overwhelmed, or now what would be, or we're going to sit there and we're going to rewire. I talked about that operating system at the beginning, rewire what the stories have been building throughout your entire life. And through neuroscience, people think like it's not possible, but you can. Neuroscience allows you to rewire. So when you think of subconscious, your subconscious brain, it has two jobs. It's to keep you safe and familiar, which means it's not looking for you to be successful. It's looking for you to be safe. And so in order to break free of the self as of today and get to your success self of tomorrow, we've got to snow globe the moment, shake it all up, because things can't stay the same if you're really going to have in those three quadrants of your relationships, of your business, and of your personal relation or your personal, relationship with yourself. We've got to like mix things up and get your subconscious reprogrammed. And when you do that, that's when success happens, your results happen, but you also are tied into, wow, I now have a great bank account. Wow, I now have this great, like this is now happening for me. But you also have a great relationship with your significant. You have great relationships with your kids. You have great relationships because it is a ripple effect. It is. The butterfly effect is true. Greatest book. I loved it. That, when one butterfly wing starts to flap, it has a reaction. So, but we have to take action to get a reaction.
Well, and what a perfect segue, Hilary, because we could talk for 3 or 4 hours, 3 or 4 days about this, and I'd still be hooked. But now it's on you. Now's the time. If you're going to do anything, if you're going to have your relaunch, now's the time. Visit that website, click that link, get yourself in that room if you're going to have this change. That group led by Hilary. Hilary, what you're curating there sounds incredible. Get yourself into that position. Give yourself a chance for a relaunch. And Hilary, I appreciate you being here. I'll leave you with the last word.
John, thank you first off for just having these amazing conversations and giving me this opportunity, because people, as you said at the very beginning, it's not about, let me just get through this one relaunch. Relaunches will continue to happen. And wouldn't it be amazing if you had a relaunch code that you could consistently fall back on, that okay, wait, this is my first step. This is the second, third step. Boom. This is what I need to do, that you can elevate yourself on demand, energy on demand. And here's the thing, why we weren't taught this, I have no idea. But now that you know that there are systems out there these are not our normal ABC systems. These are like super simple, heavy impact. And that's what I want to do for people that are right now feeling like, oh, there's more for me out there. Well, there is. And it's let's relaunch.
Hilary, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate you.